Welcome, everybody, to My Family Guide, the podcast. My name is Ben, and with me hosting is my beautiful, lovely, brilliant, any more adjectives?
I was just going to say you're running out of air.
Yeah, right? Lovely, did I say that already?
I think you did. You can't reuse that one.
My lovely, smart, fantastic wife, Angela.
Oh, wow. Thank you for quite the introduction.
Interjunction?
Interjunction.
Okay.
So, today, what are we talking about?
Today, you know what? I want to talk about this because I'm in a snooty mood.
You're in a snooty or snotty?
Snotty.
Snotty.
I'm in a snotty mood today.
Okay.
We're going to talk about first class travel.
First class.
Yes. First class travel.
Oh, yes.
And
well,
is it worth it? Do you think it's worth it, Angela?
well, we're going to find out.
How many times have you flown seriously, how many times have you flown first class?
First class. Okay.
Actually, every leg counts.
Every leg counts. Okay.
It's a different.
So
plane.
one time is an experience. So
yes.
Okay. So the first time I did it, I was 26 years old. It was our honeymoon on the way back home.
How old are you now?
It doesn't matter.
27.
My birthday's coming up in a few days.
You look like you're 21.
Thank you, because I am. So, anyways, the first time was on the way back from our honeymoon. That was the first time I ever flew first class. Mm-hmm. So we went from.
Okay, so count them. So
that's one. That was Atlanta to Portland.
Okay.
That we didn't have our honeymoon in Atlanta. Not that that's a bad place, but that was one of our legs. We got to upgrade. Okay. Anyways, so moving on.
I had a dog once.
So the next time was last year, and we went from Newark to London.
Okay, that's two.
Okay, and then we went from London to Venice.
Okay, it's three.
Then we did Venice back to London.
Okay, that's four.
Then we did Paris to Newark.
Okay, that's five.
And then in a few days, I'm going from first class from Portland to Minneapolis.
So that'll be six.
And then Minneapolis back to Portland.
So that'll be seven. So you've done five.
I've done five.
Is that right? Yeah, you've done five.
I've done five. Yep.
And you will be doing seven.
Yeah, I'll be doing seven. So there we go.
So I've done the five that you mentioned, obviously.
No, yes. Okay.
Yep. And I've done from Chicago to London.
Okay.
And then I've done, it was Portland to Milwaukee.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. That was when?
When we first moved out here.
Okay.
That was before we were married. That's when that was for our friend's honeymoon. It was because it was a red eye. It was a red eye.
Okay.
And the plane to Milwaukee was not full. I don't know why.
Weird. In February?
Yeah, in February.
Strange.
And the lady's like, she was just like, I was already pretty much up front. Okay. Like I was like in the dividing thing.
Okay.
The separation where the curtain is.
Yeah. And
she asked me and the two people next to me if we wanted to go to first class. And we were like, yeah.
Oh.
And I remember the lady, it was a lady, and I don't know if it was her friend and, or maybe a son. And like, I remember we looked at each other like, yeah?
Who's going to say no?
Yeah, so we went up there. But there were some people in coach still.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, well, you got lucky.
But there you go. So
you have five. So 5, 6, 7.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Is that it then? 7?
Yeah, that's it.
7? Okay.
That's it.
Okay.
But the other 2, the funny thing is, the 2 that I don't have, I never paid for. Because I got upgraded. From,
So the Milwaukee to Portland, you got
yeah.
upgraded. Okay. And then which other one did you get upgraded?
When I went from Chicago to London.
Nice.
So
should we... Okay. So let's first talk about the whole thing. Now you got upgraded.
yes.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk about that for a second. How did that happen?
So I was leaving for Chicago. Oh no, I was actually leaving for Newark.
Okay.
Because I was going to fly originally from Portland to Newark to Heathrow.
Mm-hmm.
But the night that I was taking a red eye, but the night that we were supposed to leave, there was a problem with the plane, with the fuel gauge, and they had to cancel the flight.
So you didn't even leave Portland?
Portland, yeah.
Okay.
So when we got off the plane, of course, they're asking for volunteers. And they were giving like a ridiculous things away. It was like, I think $750.
Oh, wow.
Travel and guaranteed flight or something.
Mm-hmm.
And a guaranteed stay.
Oh.
So I went up to the counter.
Okay.
This is a trick that I learned online. And and I'm telling you, people like laugh at me, but it's a true story and this really does work. And ever since then, I carry chocolates with me. So here's what I did. I went up to the flight attendant or the person working the desk.
Okay.
And I said, excuse me, Robin.
Mm-hmm.
My name is Ben Surratt, and I would like to see if you're looking for volunteers. Oh, yes, sir, we are. I said, oh, great. I said, I tell you what, I don't even need a hotel. I live close. I can call my wife and she can come pick me up and I can leave tomorrow as long as I can get guaranteed I can get to Heathrow by, I think I had to be there by 3 at the latest.
Oh, because the ship was leaving.
So she goes, okay. She's like, take computer. Okay, yeah, absolutely, sir. We will see you tomorrow. And what I did is I gave her some chocolates. Mm-hmm. And
what kind of chocolates did you use?
You get the grab bag, the variety pack, with like the Hershey's and the Crackle and the Mr. Goodbar.
Okay,
you know what I'm talking about?
All right.
Ones?
Yeah.
And I just gave her a handful. I said, "Thank you so much, Robin." And I was on my way. The next day, everything was fine. I'm flying to Chicago.
So they rerouted you.
Rerouted me to Chicago the following morning because you had to drop me off. Mm-hmm. So I get to Chicago, and it occurred to me when I got to Chicago, like, where's my luggage going to be? Because my luggage left without me.
Because they thought you already boarded the plane.
And this is United. So I'll give United, I will give United props on this. So I go to the front desk when I get to Chicago, to O'Hare. Mm-hmm. And I talk to, let's just say her name was
Leia. Leia. Okay.
And I said, excuse me, Leia. My name is Ben Surratt, and I am I'm on this flight. I was supposed to leave yesterday, and my bags left without me. And I was just wondering, will my bags be there when I get to Heathrow? And she's typing at the computer. Mm-hmm. She goes, well, actually, sir, your bags won't leave until you actually board this plane. They're in Newark.
Okay.
I don't get it either, but that's
how they work it.
So
okay.
Once my ticket is scanned to go on the plane, they will then take my bags to a different plane in Newark, and they will
make sure it gets to London.
Yes. I said, oh, thank you so much, Leia. I said, you're a big help. I really appreciate it. I'm having a great time. And I gave her just a huge handful of these chocolates. And she looked at me and she goes, oh, my Lord, you just made my day today. And I just start laughing, and she goes, hey, girl, come here. I got chocolate. She was giving chocolates to all the other flight attendants.
Oh, wow.
And I was laughing. So I was in Chicago. I had to get some pizza. And I come back.
Yeah.
And I go in, and I get in my seat. And again, I was like right in the front. I was like, they upgraded
row 3 or 4 or whatever?
Row 1. It was like row 1. Oh. Yeah, whatever. In coach.
Okay.
It was like right there.
Yeah.
Where the separation barrier is. Where they have the curtain.
The curtain where you shut off.
Yeah. And then next thing I know, a nice flight attendant came to me, and she goes, Mr. And she was, I think she was Japanese, so her English was a little broken.
Yeah.
And she goes, Mr. Sirat? I go, yeah. You like upgrade the first class? I said, I was talking to you.
Yeah, you were talking to me, and I was like...
And I go, hold on, sweetie, I'm going to first class.
I was like, shut up.
And I hang up on her.
I was like, shut up. And then he like clicked, and I was like, oh my God. He just ditched me for first class.
Oh, in a heartbeat.
Who wouldn't?
So, and just side note, when I landed in Heathrow, my luggage was not only there, it was like right there. It was waiting for me at the Heathrow, the United check.
Baggage claim?
Yeah, it was right there.
Wow.
I go through customs. I got my stamp.
And because you're first class, so you get expedited through customs and everything.
I think I was through everything in record time, like 20 minutes in Heathrow. I think I was through. And
I bet, okay, so this is kind of where I think we're going with this. So, the perks of first class that people may not know about. Okay, so one of the things is if you are first class or business class.
It was all business class.
It's business class.
It is business class. It wasn't first class.
Because there is a difference.
There is a difference, yeah.
Now, I haven't flown. I haven't now on the smaller jets where it's not jumbo jets like international. It's usually they call it first class.
Right.
Like if you're flying domestic, they usually call it first class. But if you're flying overseas, usually it's like they have business class and then they have first class. First class is much more expensive than business class. So the difference when you get business class or first class, your ticket is usually marked on the top. So some of the cool things is that one, you get expedited through security. So you don't have to wait in that long line. You get to go I don't know if you've ever noticed that, or when you're checking in to check your bags, they have a separate line just for first class.
Yes,
right?
Yes.
They have a separate line to check in. That's first class. And economy and everybody else is where the majority of everybody else is. And then they also have, when you're going through security, then if you're first class, you get expedited through there. Right?
Yep. Absolutely.
Now, that's awesome. I think that's one of the perks, especially if you're at some of these major hubs. And like when we were in Paris and the lines were forever. Do you remember that?
Oh,
and
man,
we had such a short connection.
Yeah.
And had we not, it was a little confusing, but we figured out finally where we were. But if we had to wait in the economy line, we would have missed our flight. Yeah. We would have missed our flight. Yeah. So that's one of the perks of flying first class. Now, I think there's pluses and minuses for everything. So what do you think are some of the pluses of flying first or business class over economy?
See, I would never probably do it. I mean, you're doing it, but like it depends on the airline. That's always a big thing. It depends on the actual time, like the length of the flight. I would say it would depend on what the economy gets you, or what coach gets you.
Yeah.
For what I'm talking about is, what do I get on coach or first class or business class that I don't get in coach?
Yeah.
Is it a TV? Is it a meal? I mean, what am I gaining?
Yeah. Over it, besides paying more.
Exactly. Because that's not worth it if I'm paying more and all I'm getting is an extra bag of peanuts.
Yeah.
You know.
And a drink or something.
Yeah, but
because everybody has their phones or tablets and you can get free stream stuff.
Yeah.
So it's almost like the technology isn't as big of a deal if that's their perk.
Yeah. But in your case, for your trip now, I think it was only like an extra $100 and some bucks.
It was like an extra $120 or something.
To go for, then do it.
Yeah, it was. I mean, again, I haven't flown. I'll be flying Sun Country, so I don't know what it's going to be like. But it's my birthday weekend, and I thought, what the heck, I'm gonna do it for a treat to myself.
Yeah,
so we'll see.
You only turn 21 once.
Yes, exactly. Thank you.
Yes.
So now let's talk about some of the things that you do get in first class or business class that you don't get in economy.
Well, I mean, when you go international, for sure, you get the seats that actually fold down to a bed, and you can sleep.
Yeah,
you get your own little cubicle thing.
Yeah,
and you can lay down.
We flew. So this was last year, and this is a boutique airline, and
La Compagnie,
and they're a French airline. So they always fly from Newark to. They were flying to London, but now with Brexit, they're not anymore, and so I don't believe, but now they're just flying Newark to Paris, and so that whole airline. Everything is business class. So all of the seats, so you have like 70 seats that makes it business class. So there's no economy or anything, which was kind of cool.
It was cool.
And so we paid, what was it? $1,600 round trip, which I think is a heck of a deal
for first class,
for business class when you're flying international.
Yeah,
because I looked up your flight that when you got bumped from Chicago to Heathrow. Had you paid out of pocket for that, it would have been $2,400. Yeah.
See, now that wouldn't have been worth it. I wouldn't have done it because I flew coach on the way back and it was just fine.
It was fine.
Yeah.
I mean, you probably missed sleeping or something,
but again, what we covered, I don't sleep on planes regardless. So
yeah,
it's all individual. I mean, I wouldn't have paid $2,400 to go business class to London. It just wouldn't have happened if I weren't upgraded. Now,
do you feel it was worth it from what we did from Newark to London?
For the price, yeah,
and then Paris back to Newark for $1,600
for the price, yeah, absolutely,
yeah. So $1,800 each way.
Yeah,
I think so. This is what some of the cool things that we experienced, I think, on that flight. So we boarded in Newark. Now, before you board your flight, you get to go in the lounge. The business class lounge, okay? And so this lounge is set up for just first class and business class people, or if you have elite miles, you get to go in there as well. So when you go into this lounge, and I recommend this, try getting to the airport maybe an hour and a half, before they start boarding, because what they do is they usually have food. They have a nice, heavy appetizers, and then you can have some drinks. It's all unlimited. Everything is complimentary since you're flying business class. So you can have as many drinks. They have alcoholic and non-alcoholic beverages. If the kids are there, you're not spending money at the airport on food. You get to eat in the lounge, have as much as you want. They in each lounge at different airports is different. So they all over the world. So some of them specialize, like some of the big guys, the real expensive ones, like you fly Emirates. Some of those like actually have showers and facilities that you can, and they'll have spas and stuff at some of the lounges.
Seen those. Yeah, I've seen that.
Some of those lounges that you can find. So that's the first thing.
That's like chic money though. You gotta.
Yeah.
You gotta.
Yeah, you do. But so first thing, you get to bypass everybody when you get to the airport, right? When you check in, you got your bags, you get priority boarding, right? So you're like, I got some time to kill. Let's go hang out at the lounge.
The lounge is awesome.
Right?
Yep.
So I'm going to go to the lounge. I'm going to hang out. I'm going to have a few drinks, have some food, relax. Then they start calling you from in the lounge and they say, we are now boarding, blah, blah, blah. So, but it doesn't matter because you don't have to rush through security because
you're bypassing everybody.
You have priority boarding. Okay. So that's the next cool thing. Then what do? We get on the plane and what do they give us? Do you remember?
Drinks. Oh, champagne.
They gave us champagne.
Yep.
When we sat down and boarded, I was like, oh my goodness. Now, I'm not very tall to begin with, but you're 6 foot. I'm 5'3". And so we're sitting in our seats and I'm like putting my feet straight out and I don't even touch the chairs in front of me. How much legroom you have. Yeah, so then I'm like, huge. So we're like messing with the seats and everything. We got like all these remote controls. Like, you feel like a fish out of water when like, it's like one of the Tempur-Pedic bed, like which way you push the seat up too far.
You can spot the people who've never flown, who don't fly business class because
very often
they're the ones who play with everything.
That would have been us. So
man, those flight attendants are like, what?
I know.
What is he doing?
I know.
These Americans.
Give them more champagne.
They go to sleep.
So that was pretty neat. I think we had some trouble with it because they didn't have TVs. They had tablets. And remember, some of those tablets weren't working. Yeah.
Mine didn't work at all.
Yeah, so they kept switching out the tablets or they weren't charged or something like that. So, whatever. It was fine. But the food...
You like the food better than
I French?
Did.
I'm a critiquer of food because I've always been in the food industry, so I always like seeing what the meals are going to be, what are they providing, and it
was decent. The breakfast, not so much. I think they gave me like a bowl of pears and
okay, so how would you compare the food from when you were on United?
Yeah.
When you flew to London, okay. And then we flew La Compagnie.
Yeah.
Who had better food, do you feel?
British Airways.
That wasn't one of the...
No, but I'm telling you, British Airways has the best food. Flat out.
Of the ones that you've flown?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, let's get to that then. I mean, we flew...
United had the better of the two. United had the better. I mean, by far. I mean...
Really?
Yeah. Not even close. But I think it's because of it was a bigger plane. They had more room.
Oh.
Don't forget, these were smaller planes.
It was a normal jet that they converted.
Yeah. I was flying in a 777.
Yeah, big boy.
So it was the big boy. And I mean, I remember I got to have like choose from steak. It was a what do they call
Tenderloins?
Yes.
Yeah.
With bacon wrapped around it.
Oh, yeah, filet.
Filet mignon.
Mm-hmm.
Or chicken or a vegetarian meal, which I didn't order.
Okay.
But I got the chicken. And then they gave me the dessert. I got pictures. I will look for the pictures and I will try to link them.
Okay.
And you can see the dessert I got.
Off of it. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Unbelievable. And the breakfast, unbelievable.
What did you have?
I had cereal because I was still like I was like going to London, so I was like amped up, and you don't eat.
Yeah.
You're just all in.
Yeah.
Your adrenaline's going. We were landing, and the sun came out, and next thing you know, you're landing, and you see the Thames River, and you see Parliament.
And everything.
Like, man, and we're taxiing for like an hour and a half.
Oh, jeez.
Because
it's Heathrow.
It's Heathrow.
Huge. Yeah.
But it was so awesome. Man, I want to do it again.
I know.
Anyways.
I know.
I digress. Yeah, but British Airways has the best food.
Well, so I know when we can kind of segue into that, but I mean we went from La Compagnie. That what I did like about that, because it was an overnight flight, is you got to lay down the whole way.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
And they gave you a nice little bag of, like, you got some eye cream.
That's cool.
You got an eye mask. They gave you a little mirror. You got a toothbrush and toothpaste, lotion, all those little... I mean, you got that, but then they just kept feeding you the whole time.
Yep.
Food. Drinks, the whole time. If I wanted, 2 bottles of wine, I could have had it. I mean, they just keep giving you what you want. So for me, that was the first time I've ever laid down on a plane ever. And and it really helped because we didn't depart, I think, till 10 at night out of Newark. And we were supposed to get in London at like 6 in the morning, their local time.
Yeah.
It was something like that. Or 8 or 10. I don't remember. It was something like 8 in the morning or something like that. So you're trying to sleep. You gotta get up when you're in London, but you're not sleeping a full night's sleep. And it just felt good to rest, lay down, to do that. Now, our next flight that we go on, we're in London. So we switch planes. We're at Gatwick, which is in north of London. Okay.
We take a bus down to...
No, I'm sorry, excuse me. We flew into Luton Airport, which is... Yes. No? Oh man, I'm confused. We flew into Luton. We flew into Luton, and then we took a bus to Gatwick. And then from Gatwick, we flew British Air.
First class, business class.
Yeah, first business class.
Yeah,
they call it the same. Yeah. But that was a smaller jet. I mean, it's like a normal jet that you would fly on. It's not a jumbo jet.
And it was only, what, an hour, like 2 hours?
It was 2.5 hour flight from London to...
Okay, so...
Venice.
Do you remember the meal?
Hang on. On the way there... I got a vegetarian. You and I got vegetarian. And was it some curry?
It was curry. And it was fantastic.
It was really good.
For airline food?
To be honest, I don't remember what I ate on La Compagnie, though.
It's exactly what I'm saying. See? It's not memorable.
Yeah.
I remember exactly what I had on each of those flights.
Yeah.
But not La Compagnie.
Yeah. So we had curry because our flight was in... Well, so let's back up a little bit. So we get on the bus.
Get on the bus.
From Luton to Gatwick.
Okay.
I was exhausted, though. I was tired because you're trying to stay awake.
Even a bigger point that you remember that even being tired.
I was tired.
See?
Well, but the time change. I mean, you're still
But what I'm saying is, you still remember the meal.
I do.
That's how good it was.
It was good. So we get to Gatwick. We get off the bus. And we check our bags. Then we went to the lounge.
That's right.
In Gatwick.
That's right, because we had the business class.
So the same thing applied. Because we switched airports, so then we got priority boarding.
Yep.
And we got through security again. Yep. And then we found the lounge.
Yep.
And we hung out in the lounge. We got drinks. We got more food again. I mean, it seems like that's all we did was eat and drink the whole time. But
vacation, baby. What we do.
Now that lounge was 10 times what it was in Newark. I mean,
okay. Yeah, but here's what I will say is that I didn't like their lounge nearly as much as I liked the Newark.
I agree.
Not nearly as much.
I think it was too many people.
Yeah.
You didn't feel
special.
It didn't feel special.
Yeah.
I mean, but I mean, it's London.
It's London.
So you're going to have a lot more people. But so we hung out in the lounge for 2 hours.
About 2 hours, and then
before we boarded.
But there was different. They didn't take you. You just had to look on the board.
Well, that was a big airport too.
So you look on the board, and if you've ever been to Heathrow. But if you've ever been to London, they don't tell you where you're going to be. Like here, we know what gate you're leaving from. You know what gate. Before you even get your ticket, you know exactly where you're going.
Yeah.
There you have to look on the board to find out where you're going to be.
Well, and they don't usually post it till about an hour before your flight leaves.
Keep looking.
Because they got so much turnover for the planes that they don't know where your plane is going to be assigned to.
I bet there's an app for that. I bet you money there's an app for that.
Probably.
If there isn't, I'm making one. We're moving to London.
Okay.
And I'm going to sell it to Amazon for $18 billion. And I'll be flying first class and business class all the time.
On your own plane.
On my own plane.
Moving on. So we're in Gatwick. And then it was like an hour before our flight is to depart, and they finally assign your gate. So then once they assign your gate, you're like, peace, I'm out. Then you hightail to your gate. Now, it's not a short walk by any means. It's a good 15-20 minute walk.
It's a nice jaunt.
Yeah, it's a good 15-20 minute walk to your gate. So we get there. They're boarding. We get on British Airways. We're going to Venice. And when we get on the plane, so this is a smaller plane. So there was probably 12 seats for
first class?
For first. Yeah, probably 12, 15 seats or something like that. There's not a whole lot of seats. So we get on there, and this is the one with the curtain. I mean,
they do it loud too.
Yeah,
man.
They're like, yep, sorry, you're not allowed. And so now what they did on British Air is like I'll have wine, so then you get your little half bottle of wine that they just leave for you. And then I don't know, what did you have? Beer? Did you have?
Oh no, I had what is that called? It's Scotch and ginger ale. What is that? What drink is that called?
I don't know. I don't remember.
What is that called? What is ginger? It's not a fuzzy navel.
No. Fuzzy navel is peach schnapps and orange juice.
Mm. Look it up.
So,
man, we're running long on this one.
Yeah, we are, but there's a lot. I like it. Anyway, so we do that flight. We get fed.
I'm gonna look that up. What is that?
We get wine and drinks, and so that was great. And then when we left Venice and came back to London, it was tea time because we got tea.
Oh, it was.
It was. Yeah, so that was pretty cool because I had never done tea time. I've always wanted to do tea. So you got like crumpets and tea, and so I had that on the way back from Venice to London, and that was, and see, I remember that. Right? I mean, I do. I don't know. I remember that, and then and they just keep feeding you food and drinks the whole time. And so that was pretty cool. Now I think that round trip ticket from London to Venice was about I think it was like $325.
They call it Presbyterian?
I don't know.
Presbyterian. That's what they call it, or a Mamie Taylor.
Oh.
Anyways, go ahead.
Okay. So anyways, the ticket from London to Venice first class was like $320. Round trip.
Yeah.
Or you pay economy and it was like $200.
So exactly.
So what would you, I mean,
for what you get a meal. You get drinks.
You get the lounge access.
I could spend $120, especially in London, easily on a meal and drinks.
Yeah.
Easily.
Yeah. At the airport.
Yeah. I mean, easily. So why not just fly first class, get the priority boarding, get the lounge, get your drinks, get your food, get on the plane, get your drinks, get your food, and you land.
Yeah. And you're off. And then on your way back, it's the same thing again.
Yeah.
Because we got priority boarding.
But you got to look for those deals. I mean, you got to...
Yeah, I mean, you can't wait.
Either. I wouldn't pay like $800.
No, for a 2-hour flight.
There'd be no way.
No. I wouldn't either. Now, it'll be interesting to see what Sun Country's first class will be in the next few days. I do kind of want to go a little earlier so I can hit the lounge, scope it out, see what it's like before I go.
You should do a live feed.
Yeah, I could.
You should.
Well, maybe I can't get... Maybe we won't have to be able to do the kids. The kids will... Well, anyways, we'll figure that out on Thursday.
Yeah.
But, so I think that would be that would be cool. I want to check it out, compare it. Now, when you get in the States and... If you got a short flight, like I think if you're like under 2 hours in the States and the price is quite significant, then
we did it on our honeymoon,
because that was our honeymoon and our 10-year anniversary.
So we've
never done it. No other just because. Yeah, it's always been special occasions.
Yep. So and we only did the one leg, and we did it from Florida to
Atlanta to Portland.
Yeah, because it was the longest leg.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was fun. It was. I mean, is it worth it? I would say yes and no. I would say it depends on the situation. It depends on the price. It depends on the destination. It depends on the airline. There are many variables that I think that you have to do your own research. It's not just, I'm going to fly first class today, unless you have that kind of disposable income.
Yeah.
Which I believe none of us have, or not many of us have.
Or those that listening aren't.
Yeah, exactly. Auntie Kay.
Yeah. My mom.
But it's just like you have to really research, and that's it, and then find a deal.
Yeah, and see if it. I mean, at some points, I think if you're flying during peak, like if it's holidays, maybe it would be a good idea because of all of the people. And so if you get priority boarding and you're not waiting in all those lines for everything, that might be a good...
And especially if even now, even TSA pre-check, the lines are long.
They are, because everybody's
doing
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's kind of like, well, why do TSA pre-check? Side note on TSA pre-check, by the way. Okay? So, and this kind of goes with the whole business first class. So yes, you get priority boarding, you get on the plane first, but you're still getting your bags all at the same time.
Ah.
Because my friend, she had TSA pre-check. So she got this, and this was just when I was flying economy, and we were both flying economy. But she had TSA pre-check. We were coming from Korea back to the States. So she got way bumped ahead in the line after we got off the plane. Right?
Okay. Yep.
So we're going through customs, immigration, all that stuff. She went through a different line. She was like waiting for me because I had to wait to get my passport. I was like through the long line. But so I get out. We're both standing there though, waiting for our bags. Anyways, the baggage hadn't come through. So I think there's, I don't know. When you're waiting for your bags, you're still waiting for the airline anyways. It's not like...
Rob Roy.
That's a Rob... Is it a Rob Roy? I don't think so. I don't think that's a Rob Roy.
What is a Rob Roy? No, it's not a Rob Roy.
No, it's not a Rob Roy.
It's called a Presbyterian, I guess.
Yeah, it's a Presbyterian. Okay. But anyway, so, I mean, that's just the TSA pre-check. I think your ADD is bad again today. We got to do something about it. Oh, boy. But so that's the whole thing. Like, so there's the plus, I guess, for TSA pre-check / priority boarding if you have first or business class. But in the end, you're still all waiting for your bags anyways. Yep. So you take it with a grain of salt. You decide when are you going to have to rush through stuff. If you're still rushing to get through, like, because you have to switch planes and you have to recheck in because you're going international, you're still going to wait for your bags anyways. But I don't know. It just kind of depends, I think.
Yeah,
what you're doing.
So I would recommend it, yeah. But do your
all
research.
In all, I would recommend it if everything lines up
if the
right.
The planets align, yeah.
Yeah, and the price is right. It's the right destination. It's the right airline. It's everything. It can work for you.
All right.
So
leave us comments. What do you think? Have you ever flown first class? What was your experience?
What was your
airline?
Yeah, what was your favorite airline? What was some of your memorable food or different things that you experienced? We'd love to hear about it.
Yeah.
Comments.
Leave us comments down below. And remember to subscribe.
Yes. At www.myfamilyguide.com.
Yes.
All right. Thanks, you guys. I hope you enjoyed this one. This was a lot of fun for us.
Yep. We'll talk to you later, Auntie Kay and Grandma Patty.
We'll see you soon.
See ya.
All right. Bye-bye.